Hello, everyone. Welcome to One Up Game TV. I'm your host, Denny Marlar. Today we are here from Smokin Ace's BBQ in Poplar Bluff, Missouri, to interview a worldwide billiards legend and trick shot artist, Mike Massey. We will cover topics from trick shots, pool championships, and his Christian ministries throughout the world. First of all, Mr. Massey, I'd like to thank you for giving us time in the interview today. I'll just dig right into the questions. My first question, you've been all over the world performing. What have been some of your favorite places and why?
You know, it's hard to say there. I've played in over 40 countries now. And I love Europe, you know, for the beauty of the country, like Switzerland and places, and China, and some of the third world countries I go to. As far as my favorite, I don't know if I have a favorite, And I was in Argentina a couple of months ago, the first time been to South America, and I enjoyed it there. But I go all over the world. We actually, I guess you might ask me later on, I don't know if you know it's on there, but we have a gospel trick shot ministry. We go all over the world spreading the news about Jesus, and that's so we go to, like I was in the Philippines for a month last year, and so anywhere I go, God's there, and I love the people, and I love spreading the word. And I was in Egypt in 2011, out in the middle of the desert, preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ, and using a pool table. So it doesn't matter. I mean, God's everywhere, and anywhere I go, He's there, and if He puts the love in your heart, you can see the beauty of the world, and of course, you see all the struggles and everything and stuff.
Sure. There was a time that you were performing on and playing competitively on ESPN. Did you realize the impact you and the other pool players were having on everybody then, the magnitude of it?
Well, yeah, gradually. It started in 2000, year 2000, and that's when they actually started having the first, which I'd say, real trick shot competitions. Was in the year 2000.
Right.
And I won the first 5 out of 7, I think it was. And it's amazing the power of TV, because then everywhere you start going, people don't even play pool, they start recognizing it and everything, And people, you don't have to play pool to enjoy the trick shots, watching the trick shots. So it wasn't necessarily just pool players, it's everyone, and it's a big impact on the sport, and now, if you looked on YouTube now, you got, all kinds of people doing trick shots. It's amazing some of the shots that people's come up with now.
Right. You once set a world record for most racks running a 9-ball in a 24-hour period on live TV in Austria, 330 racks. The stamina alone is incredible on that. Tell us about that day. Was it exhausting?
Well, it was. I did that 3 times or 4 times before. Not playing that ball, but playing other ones, but I was in better shape. Now, at that time, I was in pretty good shape. I was like 46 years old, maybe, or so, somewhere like, probably like 20 years ago. And it was playing the ghost. And playing the ghost is you break the balls, and after the break, you take cue ball in hand and you try to run out in rotation. So I had 330 break and runs, in a 24-hour period. That's with no combinations, And I thought I could do 500, but after 12 hours, I wanted almost to quit, after 12 hours. I was in pain. And because you didn't have to, not just pocket the ball, but I had to be accurate too. And I started off, I was doing about probably 25, 26 break and runs an hour, at that pace. And there's a tile floor just like this. The pockets were tight, they didn't trim the pockets, so the pockets were pretty tough, on the table. And it was live television, but live, what they would do about every 3 hours, they would come and show it. It was on national TV there, So they would show their program, and about every 3 hours they'd come and show me, there. It was actually in the studio. And then after The last 4 hours was, man, I tell you, I was in pain. I was only doing maybe 6 hours or an hour, 6 racks an hour, my wrist. And then after that, I had to go do an exhibition at the World Championships for the juniors. And I was up 30-something hours, with that. I laid down for a while, but I couldn't really go to sleep. So I had to do a show for them. So it was pretty strenuous, but,
That's pretty impressive. In 2005, you were elected to the Billiard Congress of America Hall of Fame. How big was that for you?
Well, that was big because that was probably as high as you go in the pool, and I was like the 50th person inducted, so it wasn't like there's a big number, and it meant a lot, because I felt like that I'd done a lot for the game and everything stuff, and the game had been, of course, good for me and good to me, and it was meritorious, as a player. I could have got in as a player, but they didn't recognize the trick shot competitions that much as like they did the 9-ball. Now I was a national 9-ball champion too,
right?
So I could have got in both ways, but they could only put one in as a player and one in meritorious. So Robin Bell, who was a player at the time, they was going to put a woman in too. They put her in as a player, and I got an meritorious.
Right. All right. Out of all the tournaments that you won, which was the most important to you?
Well, of course, the trick shot magics, but the national 9-ball championships in 1982 was pretty important, because that established me as a player. I was doing a lot of shows at that time, and I was known as a trick shot player. And before that, I was known as a player, but not a tournament player, So, and then I won some other 9-ball tournaments and everything. And one of my first major trick shot competitions actually was I won the World Championships in snooker over in England, and that was a big one, to win that and maybe an American pool player,
Right.
And but all the most important, and I won a pretty big 9-ball tournament here about 7 years ago. I was like 58 years old, and it was with a lot of top players, and that was I went undefeated and won out the Jamboree out in California. So I had a lot of top players in it, so that felt good,
Oh yeah,
And I practiced for about 2 weeks, I guess, to play it.
Yeah. Okay. Do you ever plan on playing competitively again?
I don't even. Sometimes I don't even like to compete that much. I play when I do exhibitions. I play challengers. I like to, but it's. I have a battle. I don't know. You'd have to be a Christian to understand what I'm going to say but I have a battle with the ego and the flesh. Competition. I'm not saying it's all bad or anything, but when I'm competing, sometimes like in a major tournament, and I can be honest with you, almost every tournament that I've won, when I look back in a spiritual sense, with the Lord, it wasn't really true joy. It was more ego satisfaction.
Right.
And I found true joy is actually when you play with the Lord. When you're not trying to beat somebody, you're actually teaching somebody or helping somebody, or just playing the game for the game itself. Just enjoying playing the game, and I call it playing with the Lord. I play with Jesus. I play with and it's so effortlessly, and it's so sweet smiles. When you're in that spirit, it's just when you're being constructive, you're not But when I play in competitive, sometimes I feel myself sometimes the flesh pulling against my opponent's stuff.
Right.
And I got to be honest, that's the flesh, and I hate it. I don't like those feelings.
Right.
And he's supposed to be dead. So when you're a Christian, your carnal nature is supposed to be dead, and you want to keep him dead, And that's the whole ultimate walk is trying to crucify, it says crucify yourself, because when he's in control, when that Atlanta nature is there, it's totally self-centeredness and self-nature, there's no joy. I mean, you can gain the whole world, accomplish the world, and win a million pool tournaments, but you'll never be happy, But when you're doing something and it's for the Lord, and he's involved in it, then there's joy, and it's everlasting joy, and it's everlasting in the kingdom, And that's when I've tasted that, and there's nothing like it. I mean, I've tasted a joy that I've had joy to try to overtake me a few times in the last couple of months or a few years, And it's all, biggest joy is knowing when I die that then I don't have to battle with the flesh, the devil, or anything, but the victory, like 1 Corinthians 9, chapter 2, eye has not seen, ear has not heard, neither has entered people's hearts what's in store, for us when we die, for the kingdom of heaven. And you can't, if you sit down and try to figure out what heaven's like, you can't do it because, see, the flesh wouldn't enjoy it anyway. See,
right.
And it's going to try to conjure up something that it would like.
Yes.
But God's got so much more in store for us, And when like when a person's born again, when Jesus says you got to be born again, so we can't figure it out, but He's going to deliver it to us, Yeah. But that's the same way playing pool. I mean, I love playing pool, but the competition. Getting back to the question, I have a hard time competing. It takes. I admire the players now. They got some of the great players now, and the work. And when I watch the Olympics, and the work that's put involved, for these people to have the skill and everything they do. It takes a lot of determination and work. And that's in my pool. I put a lot of work into it.
Right.
But there wasn't any true joy, really. I received those checks and stuff. I needed the money,
Sure.
to pay my bills and
Sure.
everything. But I didn't have really a true joy, And I've experienced a true joy.
That's great.
Seeing that you have found God, and
What's that?
seeing that you have found God, being in the bar atmosphere a lot, that's got to give you great opportunities to witness and
Yeah.
to share. Is there any cases or people that you really think you've gotten to and maybe changed your life?
I go all over the world to the ministry, but I was raised in bars. I mean, I was drunk first time I was 3 years old. I was busted at a poker game when I was 8 years old. I was smoking 4 packs of cigarettes a day when I was young. I was an alcoholic, drugs, everything, And I was under bondage. I was a slave. I was like a puppet on the string, And that's what it is. We're under bondage. We're enslaved from the time we're little kids. From the time we're born, the devil's trying to kill us, because he's going to hell and he wants everybody else to go with him. So he came to kill, rob, and destroy. So my message is Jesus says you got to be born again. And when you're born again, you can walk on the devil, see. And anything, it's not saying you're perfect. Now, the Spirit is, but you still got to grow and everything. But all things become different. Sometimes, I walk out, sometimes I'm in harmony with the butterflies and birds and nature and trees and everything stuff. Right. And so much love and appreciation and everything, for God. And I don't get into worshiping all that. I worship the Creator,
Right.
Food, but I still wrestle with things that try to come up on me. I've been tortured. I've been actually tortured, and I had a lot of questions. But I have no more questions. I know that God is a great, wonderful, loving God, and He gave His Son to die for everything I've done wrong, or you've done wrong, or anyone's done wrong. He suffered my sins. So when you accept that and you hand it over to Him, you don't have to keep, there's no condemnation, So He suffered for my sins, but I can't keep on sinning. I got to walk, He says you can't serve 2 masters,
Right.
And so it's a war that goes on to try to walk that straight and narrow, but when you do, that's what joy and peace and happiness and everything comes from. People's going to do you wrong, you got to keep forgiving, and you got to walk the way He says to walk, this world's in bad shape right now, you know, and and that's the only reason I'm really left on earth. I know it's just to tell people about Jesus, you know. You know, I mean, death. I know it's victory. you know what I mean. I'm not afraid to die anymore, and I know that, you know. And when you know that, you can have a peace, because you know, hey, when you die, it's because we're all gonna die, you know. I'm 66, almost 67. I might live to be another year, maybe another 10 years. I don't know, you know. But while I'm here, left here, I want to try to walk that walk and lead others, you know, and sow a seed or whatever, you know, whatever it is. But also, you know, and it shows you how to enjoy life. Like I said, that joy that comes from, you know, I actually have to pray for the right motivations for things, you know, because I don't know how to do it. I got to keep leaning on Him, because I know how weak I am. So I got to keep leaning on Him. But when you do, you know, He casts all your burdens, all your problems, just cast it all. He's a big God, you know, and that's what we're supposed to do, just cast everything to Him. That doesn't mean you sit at home and just watch TV and stuff. You can be productive. He gives you talents and gifts and abilities, and shows you how to use them for the right motivation, you know, and how to walk on the devil. You can walk on the devil. See, the devil is supposed to be on your feet. He was defeated at the cross, you know. You know, he was defeated, so you can walk in that victory. When you walk in that victory, you're not supposed to be afraid of him. You got to realize he's real and everything, but you're not supposed to be afraid of him, you know. Right. And you got the Almighty God, Jesus, that crushed his head. So He crushed him, you know. So when you walk in that victory, you walk in Christ. You know, you got the victory. That's a good question.
Yeah, definitely. In closing, and I have a feeling I know the way you've shown your passion for Christ. Basically, in closing, what advice do you have for the up and coming billiards players?
Well, enjoy the game. It's a beautiful game. You know, I love playing. Still love playing the game. It's you know, but be careful. You know, but not pool, any sport or anything, you know. Right. Don't let it become your God, you know. You know, don't get too caught up in winning, you know. I mean, you know, you can, like I said, you can win a million pool tournaments, you know, but all you gotta do is look at TV and see all these sports figures, all these people making all these millions and millions of dollars and doing all these things, accomplishing all these things. But do you see any of them that's really joyful? You know, and every day you hear somebody in the drugs, and now they start taking drugs to perform better. I did the same thing, you know, when I was a hustler. And if you get too caught up in winning, you know, maybe start taking maybe drugs to make you play better or whatever, you know, and then you destroy yourself. And that's what's happening with the world. But the world can't know God. See, that's the thing about the world. We can't know God. And the world's ways is totally different, you know. And Satan's the God of the world, you know. So you got to. And so take your talent, your abilities, and gifts, and try to get close to the real God, and that's through Jesus. You know, and He'll show you ways to enjoy the game, fellowship with people, you know, where I can play with you, and we show each other things, you know, and you can really enjoy the game. But if it becomes you know, don't let it. It's a beautiful game, but don't let it become your idol.
Well, we appreciate your time, Mr. Massey.
Yeah.
I know you got a show to do here in a little bit, a little teaching, and we really appreciate you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.